Hey, closet dwellers and bold move makers. It is time for another uncloseted riff and rant. And today I am ranting. I am pissed off. Just like many other people who have heard the story about what's going on in the Catholic Church and the Catholic League's response to it. One man in particular, I believe his name is Donohue, the president of that Catholic League. And I'm going to preface this. This has nothing to do with the Catholic Church. And quite honestly, it even doesn't have much to do with the Catholic League president guy, but it has to do with what he believes he can say because he's a man and he thinks he knows better. Now, if you haven't heard the story, his response was to all these allegations that some of the victims really couldn't cry assault or rape because there was no penetration. And the moment I heard that, I thought, first of all, that's complete BS, because as someone who has been through sexual assault and abuse myself, there wasn't any penetration. And so I guess I didn't really have that happen to me, nor have I had to live with that. And it has nothing to do with me being a gay man. Okay, many of you have heard me talk about this before. But this made me so angry that it made me realize I'm going to change who I am as a man. Because words do matter. Just because it wasn't penetration doesn't mean those people weren't assaulted in some way. Just because there wasn't penetration doesn't mean there aren't scars left. And it's time for us to bring this masculine BS out of the closet and say, men can't decide these things. Because a man sitting there who didn't have this done to him, maybe he did, we don't know. Or maybe he's the one who did some of this himself. Maybe he did, we don't know. But men cannot bring this kind of masculine energy into the world any longer. We cannot determine what is or isn't something that someone else can feel. All we can do is go, here's my perspective. But to blanketly overlay this and say, well, that's what it is complete BS. And it's made me so angry because I started to think, what is some of the things that I say that lead people to feel like, oh, I guess he thinks he's got it all going on. Even this rant and riff. Some people are going to go, well, yeah, Rick's up on his high horse, blah, blah. I'm not up on my high horse. I'm sharing something that I feel. But sometimes we have to think, what is it that we might say that is similar to, well, it wasn't really penetration, so it didn't really happen. Okay? Well, she didn't really cry, so she really wasn't, upset. Well, he didn't really react when he told he wasn't getting the promotion, so I guess he was okay with that. We cannot make these assumptions. This masculine energy stuff that we bring into the world in those ways with the words that we say need to stop. And I'm raising my hand. If you could see me here in my recording studio, I am raising my hand saying I'm guilty as charged. But even though I'm guilty as charged, I want to start making a difference. And that's why I said this made me so mad. I want to change some things that I do as a man. Now, I want you to call me out on it too. And I know that may get me upset at times if I get called out, but that's okay because this is how we grow. This is how we learn to be better human beings. So, what do I want to do to be better? I want to think before I speak. I want to look at the words that I'm using that might actually hurt and offend someone because of some belief I have tied to that. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to stand my ground and stand for what I believe in. It's just I'm going to think about, okay, how do I say these things? And trust me, as a father of 2 daughters, I have been through this numerous times where I've said things. I'm like, okay, that's not exactly the way I meant it to come out. But the whole point of this is, once again, a straight white male decided he could use his straight white male masculine privilege to make a sweeping assumption that people who were involved in these horrible travesties of sexual abuse weren't really abused because they didn't get penetrated. And I want to tell you what he did with that statement is he penetrated a whole lot of minds. A whole lot of minds that said, oh, I guess I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut too. He also penetrated a whole lot of minds like mine that said, no, this has got to stop and I'm going to stand up. He penetrated a whole lot of minds that caused people to think, really, is this where our country and our world has come to? He did the penetration And some of it wasn't good penetration, but I hope to God that the penetration that he caused, that caused people to actually stand up and say, this no longer works, will bring more people out of the closet to say, no more. White male privilege, white male masculinity needs to take a backseat, and we need to have conversations about what truly hurts people. So that's it. That's my true rant. I don't know that I've ranted this way in a long time, but I was pissed off and I decided to make a change. So what's got you pissed off that's going to cause you to change? What's got you pissed off that's going to change the way you approach life as a man or a woman, in your masculinity or your femininity, in your religious beliefs or your social contributions to the world? Because when you get pissed, you get in action. So that's it, everyone. Have a great week. I hope that you will never find a statement that causes this much damage that's come out of your mouth as what he said that came out of his mouth. Have a great week. We will talk to you very soon on another episode of Life Uncloseted.